Hey guys, Tony here. Sean and I, Shock Daddy, discussed and decided that we wanted to kind of start sharing some of our adoption and home study process and status. So anybody who's following knows where we're at. Anybody who's wanting to learn can. One thing we've been doing is watching other YouTubers, trying to get some ideas and stuff. And there's some really great channels out there that we have found that have given some really helpful information and motivation and all of that. So right now, for anybody curious, we are still in the home study phase. What that means is that before we can actually move forward with the adoption itself, we have to complete the home study. It seems like a tedious process, but it's really for the benefit of the kids. It's to make sure that not only is this going to be a safe and nurturing home, but that we are capable of caring for them. And then by the end of it, that we are knowledgeable enough to help them with any needs that they may come with. So right now, I've kind of personally, I don't know if this is actually how it works, I've personally kind of broken down the home study into 3 different phases. One of them is a paperwork phase, then you have the interview and inspection phase, then you have the report phase. We are technically still in the paperwork phase. They gave us a giant packet of paperwork right at the start. When we started, they said that the total time process would take about 2 to 4 months. My goal is to make that as close to the 2 mark as possible because we want to bring our child home. That is our goal. And I'm not patient. Anybody who knows me knows that. So not to mention too, anybody who knows us also knows that both Sean and I have a tendency to be procrastinators if we wait on things. So if I just do it and get it done, it's done. So anyhow, part of the paperwork phase is background checks. As soon as one of the background checks comes back with the signed contract, we can start the second phase. I wasn't willing to just wait for everything, so with the signed contract, we filled out pretty much everything else, which is everything from every address you've ever lived at your entire life, financial statements for the last 3 years, your current budget for the month, for the year, as well as assets and liabilities. You really have to break everything down for them. Lots of signing stuff, intent, which goes along with your will. I think it's called the Declaration of Intent. Anyhow, there's agreements on how punishment needs to happen or not happen with a child that enters your home through this process. There's questionnaires. The questionnaires are one thing that has tripped me up so far. And I know that sounds weird out of all those things. One of them, the SAFE questionnaire, gets really detailed. I started this video actually a couple times, and I kept getting hung up on the questionnaire, and I've realized I just need to do a completely separate video for that. So let's just say that the questionnaire gets really deep and involved with not just you, your spouse, and your direct family, but your extended family, your parents, your childhood, how you were raised, all of that. It gets really detailed, and it makes you think about things that you may have not thought about in a long time or anything like that. With my background, having grown up as a birth child in a foster home, it brought up a lot of stuff that I realized I have to work through. And I just realized too, I said that there's 3 components to the home study, and I lied. There are 4. Because with that SAFE questionnaire, there is an educational component that's required for the home study. With our agency, we have to do 30 hours of education. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually really achievable, and not all that bad at all. The hardest part may be the books that we're required to read, just because as much as I love to read, I just don't sit down and do it as much anymore because I have so much going on. So I have to make myself. And Sean, he reads, it's fine, but he has a hard time getting into books if they're not engaging. And these are educational books, which we all know can be a little bit trickier anyhow. So we'll see how that part goes. The rest is easy though. But between the education component that we've started, the SAFE questionnaire made me think about things. Once we have all of that done, and that one background check comes back, we got an email notification on, what day was it? Tuesday, I think. Monday or Tuesday. I think we got the email on Monday that said our FBI background check was already completed and on its way back. So we should have that today or tomorrow. We can take that in. They have our signed contract already because I turned in all of the paperwork. Call me an overachiever, whatever. But, the giant packet we were given, I got back to them within about a week. That includes all of the financial reports and everything. The only thing not in there is we don't have our health reports done yet. Half of them are done, which 3 separate appointments this week at doctor's offices because of our large family. So Sean and I are mostly done. We're waiting on the results from the TB test. We do the TB Gold blood draw instead of the standard skin test. If you want to know why, feel free to ask. And then we have to do a drug screening. The kids need just the rest of it. They need vitals. They need to know if they're generally healthy, if there's any other health issues with the family. And, for the kids, they want to know if proper child restraints are used, if there's tobacco use in the home, different things like that. Standard checkup stuff. So, as soon as we complete those appointments tomorrow, we'll have those forms to hopefully turn in next week. And then the birth certificates. That's another story too. We have to give them a copy of everybody's birth certificate. All 7 kids, myself and my husband, and our marriage license. Somehow, in our move, our last move, they did not end up where either of us thought they were. I thought they were in the file cabinet. He thought they were in the safe. Turns out they're not in either. So we've got a couple boxes to go through today when he gets home from work. If we can't find them, we have to go to the courthouse and get all new copies. That's not bad if you have 1 or 2 kids. But when you have to get 6 or 7 birth certificates and a copy of a marriage license, it adds up. But whatever. It's our fault for not knowing where they're at. Then, let's see, that'll be all the paperwork because we turned everything else in. Then, as long as they accept the FBI background check and they don't want to wait on the state or anything, which I've been told that the state background check is actually the longest one that they usually wait for. So I don't think they'll wait for that one. But then we'll schedule the interviews and the home inspection, which sounds really scary. I grew up doing the home studies, which was the home inspection part and everything. And I've been told that the adoption one is nothing quite like the foster care one. For foster care, it was kind of intense. This one, they more so want to come in and see how we live, not the details of where we live so much. And they want to see us in our environment and they want to interview us. They will interview each of the kids. The younger ones, she said they'll just play with them. And then Sean and I have to do 2 or 3 interviews from the sounds of it. And they'll call back with any questions they have or stuff that came up after they took notes and went back over them. Then after that part's done, she said it takes 2 to 3 weeks for her to write the report and we're home study done. We just have to have our 15 hours of education completed to get the home study report, and then we can send it to the listing agency, who then can get everything going on their end. We have another 15 hours of education that we have to complete before everything can be final. But that's all moving along too, as far as how quickly we're getting it done and the stuff that we're learning. I mean, I thought I knew a lot, and I did compared to a lot of people, but learning a lot of really good stuff. I mean, in general, I think it's stuff that parents should just be learning. Not for the sake of your own family, but knowing about other kids that you might be interacting with through your kids or anything else. If you want any of those resources, let me know. I'll let you know what we're listening to, reading, watching, all that good stuff. So anyhow, that's where we're at. We have that much done, that much to go, and we're going to cross our fingers and pray everything goes smoothly from there and that we can bring our child home. We would like to see it all happen by the summer. So if nothing else, this summer we'll be going to get our child. And at some point, maybe I'll have a few more details I'm allowed to release about who and what. But right now, the only thing that matters is where we're at in the process. The process is the home study. Nothing else happens until that's done. So there you have it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Leave it down in the comments below. Like this video. Just let me know if it helped at all. Subscribe to my channel. I am going to be updating as we go through this process. Yeah, they're probably going to be mixing with all my other videos, but I will try to create a playlist so that you can just watch them all later or something. I don't know. And then that way it'll be easier to find them maybe too. So that's the plan. I hope you guys are all having a really great day, that you're living blessed and staying warm. It's still winter for a lot of us. All right, you guys have a great day. Bye.